Hello, I'm television and radio producer-presenter Rob McKnight. With over 30 years' experience, this is my take on the latest GfK Metro radio ratings for 2026, Survey 4. Now, this period covers Sunday, April 19 to Saturday, June 27. And some radio executives have some pretty big decisions to make based on these results. Let's start in Sydney. Smooth FM remains at the top of the pile with a 13.4% share and saw a slight increase. 2GB stays strong, pretty much on par with the last survey. Gold 101.7 had the toughest survey overall, down minus 1.4. Has a drop in breakfast played a role there? ABC Sydney was the standout mover, up plus zero point 0.7 to 5.3, picking up share from KIIS. In breakfast, 2GB is still number one overall, but keeps bleeding. It's down to 14.8. That's a drop of zero point 0.8 this survey, but it's the third straight soft survey for Ben Fordham, although we have to acknowledge he is still a dominant number one. KIIS 106.5 breakfast is still sliding post the Carl and Jackie O breakup, but the Cume loss is slowing. It was only 29,000 this time versus 132,000 in survey 3. ABC Sydney breakfast is up 0.4% to 7.1. Gold 101.7 Sydney breakfast momentum, well, it has stalled and dropped 0.6%. In Melbourne, station-wise, 3AW remains untouchable at 14.2. ABC Melbourne is the real story. It's up 1.4% to 5.5. That's a genuine trend, not a blip. Nova 100 continues to climb. It's up 0.9. Triple M keeps sliding. It's down 1%. In breakfast, 3AW breakfast now has a share over 20%. 20.1, that's an increase of 1%. When will the media pay respect to Ross and Russ and not just talk up FM? Because Nova is in second place and it's almost 10 points behind. Now, it's a solid result. It's up 1% on 10.4. But 3AW is just soaring. Gold 104.3 breakfast dropped slightly. It's down minus 1.3. Now, Christian O'Connell's lead in Melbourne is intact, but it is softening. Is that because he's also trying to serve Sydney? That's the question. In Brisbane, overall, B105 retook top spot, 12% with an increase of 0.3. KIIS 97.3 was the standout, up 1.2%. Triple M had the roughest survey of any station in the market. Well, I say that, we'll get to 4BC soon. It was down minus 1.1 overall because things are still grim at 4BC with a station share of just 3.3%. In breakfast, B105 held breakfast top spot, 13.9%. That was up 0.5. Triple M's breakfast slipped hard, down 2.2%. A better result for KIIS 97.3. Breakfast was up plus 1.2, closing the gap and sitting in second spot. Nova 106.9. Breakfast was down again despite Nova's strong survey 3. I wonder if Ash Bradnam would have made a difference. But 4BC is the real story in Brisbane. It's in real trouble. It is down 0.5% for a 3.2% share. And that was repeated all across 4BC. Mornings, just 3.9%, down 0.9. Afternoons, this is a shocker, 2.9%. It was down 1.3. I said that's a real shocker, but I think I spoke too soon because Drive was on 2.6. That's down minus 0.4. Now, what's interesting about that is Gary Hargrave has actually done pretty well in Drive. So is that a lead in from breakfast to mornings to afternoons? What is affecting those figures? Evenings was the only bright spot on 4.1%. That's a big lift from where the station is. In Adelaide, overall, there were two winners, 5 Triple M. That was up 1.2% to 14.5. It's now number one overall. And 5AA had a good result. It was up 1.9% to 10.1. KIIS 1023 and Nova 91.9 are both steady. ABC Adelaide had the tougher survey. It was down 1.1%. Now to breakfast in Adelaide. 5AA breakfast jumped plus 2.5 points to 13.8. That's its best result in a while. ABC Adelaide breakfast dropped sharply, down minus 1.5, with that audience seemingly shifting to 5AA and 5 Triple M. Over in Perth, station-wise, Nova 93.7 bounced back hard. It went up 1.8% for a 16.7% share, reasserting dominance after a softer Survey 3. Gold 96 FM was the quiet winner, up 1.1% and now clearly entrenched at number 2. In breakfast, Nova 93.7, it surged to 19%. That's an increase of 1.3, extending its lead. ABC Perth had a rough one with its breakfast cum down 52,000. Mix 94.5 breakfast eased back down 0.9%. There's no doubt some have plenty to celebrate today, but others like 4BC in Brisbane have plenty to think about. After so many changes, do they throw everything out and start again? Or do they stick with what they've got? Either way, it's going to be a long road to recovery. I do think it could work, but I think breakfast needs to be tailored on Ross and Russ. There are reports in The Australian that 4BC has been testing a new show with Mike Goldman. Where would that go? If it's breakfast, it does have the worry of being too light. Maybe he can do news talk. Who knows? Time will tell, but there's a lot of thinking to be done. All right, that brings us to the end of this edition of Media McKnight. I'll be back tonight at 8 p.m. when the next edition of Media McKnight goes public with a special investigation into the NRL rights. Those TV rights are illegal, and I'll show you the proof. And it's also our 50th episode, a time for celebration. If you are a member of the YouTube page, though, you're going to get that episode in about an hour because it's pretty much ready to go. And YouTube members get early access. So go and become a paid member of the YouTube page at youtube.com/@McKnight tonight. All right, I'm Rob McKnight. I'll see you soon.